Hey guys, it's Ramon from Eclectic Emissary, and today is the brand new beginning of our new Mexico travel vlog series. And today we'll be getting into all the tips and tricks you'll need for visiting Mexico and having the perfect trip while you're there. We'll be focusing on Mexico City since it is one of the most underrated cities and definitely one of the best destinations on the Western Hemisphere. So stay tuned because it's going to be awesome. Let's get to it. After 2 extensive trips to Mexico, I can definitely say that it is in our top 10 favorite countries in the world with so much to do. It's the 13th largest country in the world and the 10th most populous with over 128 million residents. And it's the largest country in Latin America with more Spanish speakers than anywhere else on earth. Its enormous landmass contains an immense amount of diverse environments, from beautiful beaches to mountainous deserts and thick jungles. Today we're going to focus exclusively on the heart of the capital city, Mexico City, of course, also known as La Ciudad de Mexico. And this guide is going to provide everything that you're going to need to explore and have the best vacation. Mexico has a tumultuous history mixed with ancient civilizations, colonial conquests, and revolutionary uprisings. Many relics from the sophisticated societies remain scattered across the country. Mexico is often painted in a bad light, especially from an American perspective, with the media overemphasizing cartel violence and political instability. So, number one question, is Mexico City safe? I would say after being there for over a week that it was extremely safe. We never felt any kind of dangers. Of course, you want to take your average precautions, like watch your pockets in crowded areas and stuff. But even after walking around a bunch of different neighborhoods, we always felt perfectly fine and we're never really had any threats. Wandering around downtown, you'll notice some incredible architecture and buildings that will kind of make you feel like you're in Europe. And definitely I could see where a lot of the similarities to Spain overlap. So it's an incredible city that is also built on top of Aztec ruins. So you have ancient civilizations mixed with European colonization. It's like an incredible mix. So Mexico City is a sprawling metropolis and definitely a contender for one of the best cities in the world. The region is one of the oldest and culturally rich capitals in the Americas, with origins tracing back to 1325. Especially if you're just sticking to the popular landmarks and popular neighborhoods, I think there isn't any cause to concerns. As long as you have your basic situational awareness, it feels just as safe as any other big city that we've been to. So when is the best time to visit Mexico City? I would say Mexico City has a temperate climate almost year round. There are some rainy months from June to October, but we think one of our favorite times to visit is October to November, where you can celebrate the notorious Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead, one of the most popular festivals in the world and definitely the most popular festival in Mexico. We will have our entire experience going and experiencing what there is to do during that day, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, we think that, year-round, you're always going to get temperatures around 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Just keep in mind that Mexico City is really high in elevation, about 7,200 feet above sea level. So you might take a little bit of time to acclimatize before wandering around the city. While most of Mexico City is safe, there are a few neighborhoods that you might want to focus on or spend most of your time in, because each one has its own distinct flavor. Like Central Historical is the hub where most of the historical landmarks are, and you can walk between many of the city's iconic sites. Roma Norte and Condesa have more of like a hipster vibe, tons of chic cafes and bars and street food to walk between. So that's a super cool area if you like exploring the nightlife and restaurants. Polanco is another cool area with a ton of designer boutiques and luxury restaurants. So we stayed actually in 2 completely different areas, one in Doctores and Roma Norte, for 2 completely different experiences. One was low-key in the hood. I would say Doctores, it was kind of close to Roma Norte and Condesa. kind of more of a working area. Not super bad, just there wasn't much to do in there. But I will say staying in Roma Norte was amazing. Like there were so many cool spots and kind of felt like I was in Brooklyn a little bit. But yeah, the options are up to you. You can find hotels from super wide range of prices between we spent $25 a night at one place for a 4-star hotel and everything was pretty good. And we also spent $150 a night at one of the Airbnbs, which was super nice. So definitely a lot of options for accommodations. All right, so we just got to come out and say it. Mexico City definitely has some of the worst traffic in the world. There's so much congestion with the cars at pretty much any time of the day. So you have to be sure to allocate extra time for transportation because you never know when you're going to get stuck in traffic. There are tons of transportation options around the cities. Like you can take metro, buses. The subway seems pretty cheap, but if you just want to get to your place quick and a little bit less intimate, then you can just call Ubers, which is basically what we did, and they're relatively inexpensive. So I would say that's probably one of the best ways to get around. Also, if you sign up for tours, most likely they will provide private transportation so you can get to your destination in a quick and timely manner. Now, here's a few other tips you might find useful for your first time visit to Mexico. At least for Americans, you guys won't need a visa and all the power outlets are the same as back home. So that will save you a little bit. All you'll need pretty much to visit is your passport. Keep in mind, most places will accept credit cards, but some vendors accept only cash. So it's definitely good to have some cash on you to avoid the high exchange rates. From the airport, we pretty much just waited till we were downtown, found some ATMs, and took out the amount of pesos that we needed. Oh, keep in mind, Mexican food is super delicious, and I highly recommend trying all the street food and all the tacos, of course. But the salsa can be brutal, man. That thing is super spicy. So if you can, try to ask for it on the side or try to say no pique if you can't handle it. Also, another thing to keep in mind is that water is probably safe, but just as a precaution, you should probably only drink the bottled water. And if you're going out at night and you love the nighttime vibe, definitely be prepared to have countless shots of tequila or mezcals because the locals drink that like water. It's insane. Fortunately, it does taste a lot better than it does back at home. Another thing about punctuality, since the traffic is so bad, I feel like everyone just kind of normalizes being, like 10 to 15 minutes late, like no huge deal. So if people don't show up right on time for something, then don't freak out. While English is spoken in many of the touristy places, you'll definitely want to brush up on some of your Spanish. And just to have that extra cultural connection with the locals, it doesn't hurt to, speak a little bit extra Spanish. If you guys do decide to come for Dia de los Muertos, which happens to be on the 1st and 2nd of November every single year, then we highly recommend booking all your stuff months and months in advance because everything is kind of going to get sold out or be really expensive. So we'll have another future guide to that later so you'll know exactly how to spend your Dia de los Muertos. But overall, Mexico City is an enormous metropolis sprawling throughout, and there's so much to do and see. Like, you definitely need a bunch of time. So we recommend staying from at least 5 to 7 days so you can get the full experience and do most of the iconic stuff. Be sure to wear comfortable shoes because you'll be doing a ton of walking and there's a lot of cobblestone streets. And bring a jacket because at night it can get a bit cooler than the daytime in Mexico City. Mexico City really is one of the best cities in the Western Hemisphere, and if not in the world. There's so much fascinating histories, ancient sites, amazing art and architecture, delicious food, and of course, incredible tacos, like some of the best tacos I've ever had in my life. And all of the colorful celebrations and festivals that you'll also maybe get to visit if you're there. I know Mexico is a huge country with so much other things to explore, like the beaches in Cancun or the smaller cities in Oaxaca, but to really get a sense of immersion in the modern day Mexico, you gotta visit Mexico City. So let us know. Are you interested in visiting? Anyway, stay tuned because we're gonna have so many more adventures through the country and it's gonna be incredible. If you guys enjoyed the content, be sure to like and subscribe for more epic travel adventures, and we'll see you later. Peace out.